Hello everyone, welcome to ScorchedForToys@anymoon.com's review of MasterMade's SDF1 Makuros. MasterMade is a third-party vendor, so this is an unlicensed product, hence the somewhat unorthodox name. This toy comes in a pretty neat box. It's got an exterior sleeve, and then inside the box it opens up kind of like a book. It's got a little piece of Velcro in there to keep it closed, but it is made of very thin paper, and there have been a lot of complaints already about people who, when they first got their toy, the box was already damaged. The toy was released in October 2014 for roughly $100 through various websites that would sell third-party products. Inside the box, you got this display stand, which has little building detail. There's the arm for the display stand and two adapters, one for attack mode, one for cruiser mode. You also get these little base stands for the two included DF1 toys, and these little metal rods that go into the display stand to hold the vehicles off the ground. When you first pull this toy out of the box, it has one of the ARMD carriers not attached, and that allows you to see that these are fully independent toys themselves. They have articulated thrusters on the side, and they do attach to the DF1 display stands via this little hole right here in the bottom. So if you wanted to, in any mode, one weakness of these display stands is that there's no stopper in the bottom of them except the table you put them on. And obviously, putting one of these little AMRDs will cause a little bit of a weight issue, but there you go. So it can fit on there. To attach the ARMD to the toy, there's little prongs that come out to the side here. You're just going to pull on them until you get those thrusters to back out. Obviously, I thought this would go a little bit easier. Okay, and that reveals the opening inside there, and then it can just plug right in like so, and then your SDF1 would be complete. Alright, let's take a look at the DF1 toys. Here's a Joke Machine, Toynami Vinyl Gashapon, Toynami Morpher, and the DF1. This particular one has a VF1J head, VF1S lasers, and VF1S Hikaru paint scheme from Do You Remember Love? So it's kind of an odd hodgepodge. The lasers are glued in place. There's not much you could do about them if you were thinking you would just repaint the toy. It's a third-party product that really shows it. You do get optional legs. Those optional legs have a crook in them at the knee. That would be great, except if you can see here, my toy is falling apart at the ball joint now because it fit in so snug, and then I twisted the knee, it just tore the plastic. So that's obviously not something you're going to like. There is a ball joint at the head. There are ball joints at the shoulders. There's a swivel point also. Now the shoulder ball joints also can fit a little too snug. You'll twist it, you can possibly break it there too. So the ball joint's a little scary. Something to keep in mind. You might want to just find a pose you really like and stick with it. Alright, let's discuss articulation of the main toy. It has the little shoulder flap, arm flap mechanism there. You can pull it out of the way and then bring the arm way up, like so. The ARMD is on a ball joint, it can spin all the way around, but don't look for much in the way of elbow articulation because there's really not a whole lot there. Obviously the guns are articulated here, and those do come off during transformation. You should definitely check out my transformation video because there is some parts swapping. There's no parts replacing, which is good, but there is some parts swapping. So if that matters to you, definitely check out that separate transformation video. Okay, so moving to the head, it's on a peg. As I mentioned, there is parts swapping in the transformation. That by pulling up the head, you then get a little bit of twist. So that's good. Speaking of the head, I really love kind of the clear nature of it. I think they did an awesome job there. The paint is also really well done. It really pops in a way that I thought some other SDF1 toys have been a little too drab. Moving on, the hips are really, they're just amazing. Oh, first let's talk about the shoulders. The shoulders spin all the way around. So nothing like the wave wonkiness that we saw on their Wham model. Alright, now the hips can go way out, like so. You also can pivot forward and back. Not a huge range of motion there, but there is a range of motion, and that's good to see. There's even a tiny bit of a knee. Again, not much, but it's nice. And again, clear plastic inserts on the leg. This really seems like a high quality toy for being a third-party product, which I know some third-party products are amazing, but I was pleasantly surprised. There are also the feet at the ankles. You can camber in, and no, not really a front-to-back action there, but maybe that's what the knee helps you out with. So, a decent amount of articulation for an SDF1 toy. Now, if you wanted to go into what they call buster mode, which means bringing down the cannons, you do have to remove the sides of the head. They just peg out very easily. And then you bring the cannons out, and then you can bring them forward. And now you are in a firing the main gun mode, which is pretty nice to see. You can rotate the arms, bring them out like that, kind of get more iconic. Also, the hips let you kind of bring in the heels in the back. So I think this toy looks great and has all the articulation you really need for a solid attack mode and buster mode. Alright, before we move on to cruiser mode, and I should warn you, things will get not safe for work for a moment in cruiser mode. Let's talk about the display stand. Seen here, it has an adapter meant specifically for attack mode. You just spread the legs apart, bring the adapter up. It'll fit pretty snugly right in the spot. Let's see here. There it goes. Fits perfectly. Then the adapter goes onto that arm. Fits plenty sturdy. Not very dynamic, but it's doing what it's supposed to do, which is great. If you've got your little DF1 guy, you can then take him out and plug him in two holes on the tops of some of these buildings. So there's one here, and there's another one over on this side here. Again, you have different sized poles, so if that seems like it's a little intrusive, you could use one of the smaller ones. So, pretty cool little display stand. If not entirely dynamic, it does serve its purpose well. And here we have cruiser mode. Now in cruiser mode, you can see it's got that giant head as a bridge. It kind of works. And you can also see there are some pretty big gaps. But otherwise, it's charming enough. Transformation getting here does involve swapping a few parts, so definitely check out my transformation guide if that is a big deal to you. Let's put this thing on the display stand. So it comes with a cruiser mode specific adapter. You want the square end facing the front of the display stand. Put it on the adapter, then just plop the toy down like so. Now it should be pretty stable on there. Once you have it on and connected, you can also attach one of the included DF1 toys. Now you have to have the long rod, and it's only going to fit in the hole on the left of the display stand base. So go ahead and plug that in, and you'll get something like this. Okay, here's a quick scale comparison. This is the Wave Wham 15000 SDF1. It is 24 centimeters long. Here's the MasterMade toy, also 24 centimeters long in cruiser mode. In attack mode, the MasterMade toy is a little bit smaller, but it has the girth that kind of makes up for it. You can also see here's an old Takatoku SDF1 toy, non-transformable, also a little bit smaller and obviously a lot less girth. Turning our attention to cruiser mode, there are no little turrets, but nor would I suspect that you should expect those things in a $100 toy that's super deformed. Super deformed toys are obviously a niche, and while I think this toy functions perfectly well in cruiser mode, I prefer the attack and buster modes. I know that there's plenty of people here that aren't really going to like it because it's super deformed, and that's fine. There's nothing here that makes it so you need to go get this toy despite the fact it's super deformed. It's good. It's not fantastic. And if you do like super deformed toys, you think this is cute, there's certainly nothing here that makes me think you should avoid it. Again, be a little more cautious with your DF1 supplemental toys. You can break them. I've broken mine, so that is a hazard. I hope you appreciated the guest, I guess we'll call her a reviewer from the last spot. Let me know if you found that distracting or thought it was a nice change of pace. And as always, thanks for viewing. Check out my full article on anymoon.com.